Hey, it's Domain Day from cheapwinefinder.com with a wine that I got introduced to at one of those Zoom wine tastings. It's Vascos Cromas Carménère Gran Reserva 2019 from the Colchagua Valley in Chile. Los Vascos is Domaines Baron de Rothschild. Lafite, it's their property in Chile. Colchagua Valley is in the foothills of the coastal mountains. The Andes are to the east. It's about 25 miles from the Pacific Ocean. The Cromas name is the colors that the climate, the soil, the altitude, everything brings to the wine. It colors the wine. So that's what we're going with here. And it's a Carménère. And there's a story behind Carménère. It's kind of an interesting one. In the 1800s, I think, you might have heard about all the flax rot, everything going on in the French vineyards of Bordeaux and elsewhere. And it was just devastating. The vineyards was wiping out vintages. It was terrible, and the French like their wine. You don't go messing with that. So the vineyards, these are farmers. If a crop doesn't make it, they're going to pull it out and plant something else, and they pulled out most of the Carménère. Before that, Carménère was one of the main classic grapes of Bordeaux, just like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc. And it was gone. When the flax growth thing was over and everything calmed down, they went looking for Carménère and couldn't find any. Now, meanwhile, back in Chile, they were trying to grow Merlot, and it wasn't very good Merlot. And for the longest time, because it turned out these vines came from France to Chile in the 1800s, about the time everything was going bad in France. And up till fairly recently, they were growing Carménère as Merlot, and they don't have the same growing seasons. So they were picking the Carménère under the Merlot schedule, and it wasn't coming out very good. So they brought somebody in there. They were trying to bring their wines to the world market. They brought somebody in there to say, "Hey, what's wrong? That if our Merlot's this bad, no one's going to drink anything else." And they went, "Well, the reason your Merlot is bad because it's Carménère, and not only is it Carménère, it's the extinct Bordeaux Carménère." So there you go. What once was lost is now found. I'm going to take a sip. It's an interesting wine. One of the flavors Carménère has, and it's got some ripe black and red berry flavors, but it's got bell or green pepper too. And it's got a little bit of herbs too. So it's got this ripe fruity aspect to it. And it's got this kind of a little bit vegetal, but not too much. I'm not really fond of very vegetal wines, but just a little bit makes it interesting. And it's firm, it's got good structure. So it's kind of a solid wine. And this is their Gran Reserva 2019. It's not all that old. It's been in, half of it has been in French oak for a year. The other half is in stainless steel, and they married the two together. Another sip. It's good wine. And if I remember correctly from the Zoom presentation, the oak barrels came from Rothschild's Bordeaux estate, where they have their own cooperage, barrel maker. And normally those barrels are for Bordeaux wines, but a certain amount sent out there, and this was in the very classy, very elegant, top-notch oak barrels. I mean, you might not, we drink value wine, how the quality of the barrel isn't the biggest issue most of the time. As long as it's decent, we're cool. But these are Lafite barrels. These are, some of the top ones available. So this is a wine, 50%, so it's got the nice freshness, and it's also got that barrel aging put together. So you got a wine that's both a little bit brooding and dark and bright and juicy at the same time, which when you take a sip, it kind of hits your palate that way. It's got an interesting wine. So because of problems in France in the 1800s, Carménère didn't make it to the United States. Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot and Cabernet Franc Petit Bordeaux kind of came over and they're around. Carménère, not so much. Malbec's kind of got the same story. It kind of vanished from Bordeaux and ended up in Argentina. But here we go, Lost Grapes, a French winery doing their Lost Grape proud. Tastes great. $15 to $20, I think this is, which is if you haven't been drinking Carménère before and you want to try it out, I think going to a winery, especially if you're getting a wine from a country that this is their signature wine, rather than getting a brand wine for the first one, I'm all for brand wines. I drink a lot of them. But sometimes getting a established winery, and this has been there for 32 years, doing a planning that they're proud of, and doesn't cost a ton of money, 15 to 20 isn't crazy for an estate wine, is the way to go. And it's one of the best French winemakers. Yeah, so it's pretty good try. Los Vascos Cromas Carménère Gran Reserva 2019. It's still young, bright, and fruity, but it's got that other side that's got some intensity to it. So that's me, Dave, Domain Dave from sheepwinefinder.com. I've got more wines coming up because spring has sprung and it's starting to get time to get out there and start having fun again after lockdown. So adios, keep it cheap. Don't let your guard down because you never know what's going to catch you. Adios, bye-bye. I'll talk to you in a couple days. Bye-bye.